Hello and welcome back to my channel, you guys. If we haven't met before, my name is Danielle. I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I achieve this fabulous wash and go. I'm actually obsessed with this. The products I use are not new to me. They are going to be from Mielle, the Curl Smoothie, and the Coil Sculpting Custard. I don't think you could say that fast, like 5 times. These two are like the dream team, honestly. I think I still like the Camille Rose better, but these two smell phenomenal. Oh my gosh, I really do like them. The price point is cheaper than Camille Rose too, and the results are very, very close. So yes, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I do that. Just stay tuned. Let's begin. So my hair is still wet after being washed and deep conditioned and conditioned. I went ahead and put my leave-in conditioner as well. The leave-in conditioner I use is this Marc Grow Long. It's a random one that I got in like an Ipsy bag, and I've mentioned it in other videos because I just really like it. So now I have gone through like 3 bottles of it. It's the bomb. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and start by sectioning here. You may see my Denman brush. I'm gonna be using that for some definition. And I'm also going to be using my purple Mister bottle here. It's just water. So I'm going to start with the Curl Smoothie and then follow it up with the Coiling Custard. Both of these smell fantastic. You're going to love it. So splitting my hair in half, I really want my hair to be wet here. I'd say like almost dripping, if not dripping. If you can stand your hair dripping, then let's do that. But if not, then a nice good wet is good. Let me go ahead and brush. Make sure my leave-in conditioner is all the way in. I'm gonna get my Curl Smoothie, a pump, and just start raking that through, pulling it through. I don't really know the term of what I'm doing here. Just distributing it. My hair loves this stuff. Then I'm gonna get some of the Mielle custard, and I just get like this much. The consistency is pretty much the same as the Camille Rose Curl Maker. This one might be like a little bit thinner though. So I layer that on, and then I'm just gonna go through with my Denman brush. No particular method, I guess. I just want it to be defined. There, and then I just shake it. Scrunch it. And that's that. I don't really like big clumps, so that's why I don't rely on my Denman brush so much for definition. Really, it's just to brush product through. But if you want some really deep definition with your Denman, I'll show you a technique real quick for that. I'd say if you're going for definition, you can do this in sections and then brush it through and kind of twist your brush. Ooh. I think that just gets you some nice little clumps, and you would do that with each piece. Shake it a little. So that's more defined compared to what I do. Maybe they look the same, I don't know. But in an effort to keep it all uniform, I'm just gonna go back and do it how I normally would. Scrunch it, and boom. So repeat with your whole head. Because I'm not using my Denman for super tight curls and definition, I can go ahead and get away with some bigger sections. If you're aiming for definition though, then definitely use some thinner sections. So a question I see a lot in curly girl groups, not necessarily curly girl method groups, but groups that I'm in for those with curly hair, I guess is what I should have said. I see people who have like more dried out fuzzy roots and then the ends are super defined. I combat that by keeping my hair wet, especially up top. And then when I get my product, I'm gonna start and go all the way down. And just make sure everything gets covered. not necessarily adding more product, just bringing it all the way to the top for distribution. Some of this custard. The consistency of this is like kind of gross, like goopy, but it works so well. It's so awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my head, and then I'm going to show you guys how I diffuse. Diffusing does take a little bit longer when I use this technique because everything is re-dripped wet again. I have like a quick wash and go that I do sometimes where my hair is more dry and I only use like one of these, a little bit of a lighter hold. It creates a lot more volume. It's a lot more soft and touchable, but there's also a lot more frizz. So this is the most definition, most moisturizing, and I'm just gonna show you how I diffuse it then. Okay. We are back. All of my product is now applied. So this is kind of what we're working with. Now, from here, I'm going to diffuse because that's going to give me the most volume. If you choose to air dry, that's fine. You're going to get a ton of definition, but you're also going to lack in the volume because your roots, everything's going to dry down. Whereas when you diffuse, you kind of have more control where you can create volume. So I'm going to show you how I diffuse. My method is not created by me. I do a few different techniques that I've seen other YouTubers do and stylists that have taught me how to manage my curly hair. It's kind of a mix of things that I know. So this is my diffusing end, which I think I got at Sally's a few years ago. This is my regular blow dryer. I'm gonna put the end on. Now my blow dryer has 3 settings as far as heat, and then it has 2 settings for power, which I kind of wish I had 3 settings for power too, because you really just get like low and high. But I found out how to make it work for me. So with your own blow dryer, just figure out what works for you. I have a diffusing dryer as well, and I use it in some of my other videos, but I wanted to show you guys this dryer because this is what a lot of us have on hand, and I don't want you to feel like you have to go buy something to mimic the look that I am doing, so I use this too. To start, I'm going to hover dry my roots. This is just going to be, oops, drying cord isn't that long. Anyway, I'm going to just do this all around without touching. I'm going to flip my head. You'll kind of see that. I'm going to try to keep some clips in there, but not make this too long. So I'm going to do that with high heat, high power, which I will get a little frizz. That's my disclaimer, a little bit of frizz. It's going to be worth it. It will be fine. That is the only way I can get my hair done quick enough to get out of the door and not be diffusing for 45 minutes. After I do that, I'll come back and I'll tell you what the next step's going to be. I'm going to hover dry real quick and then I'll come back. I have this towel on, by the way, because the product, my hair is getting longer now and it's going down my back, and I noticed that my back will break out if I don't have a towel on. Even my arms, I had a spot here just from my hair being on my arms. So I'm gonna leave that on so it can soak up some of that extra product instead of having it on my skin. And let's get all right, y'all, moving along to the end. So right now my roots, honestly, they're really not as dry as I usually get them, but we're gonna do the scrunching method with the diffuser and it will go a little bit further to dry the roots. I realize that it's not really necessary 100% to use the diffuser when you're hovering. I think it helps to keep the air dispersed instead of just your shot from the dryer and going straight there in one spot and concentrated. So I think for me, it helps just to keep everything flowing all over my head. But there are some mornings when I'm running really late that I'll just do a hover dry without the diffuser end, and the results are pretty similar, but there will be more frizz. Now, for my next portion, I'm gonna go ahead and diffuse the ends. I'm gonna use medium to low heat. I'll bounce back and forth. And then I'm going to use the cool shot button towards the end, kind of randomly, to help set everything in place. So just checking in right now, like there's some frizz and stuff on the top. It's really not that bad though. It's still very minimal. And yes, I am going to go between high power and low power as well as the heat settings. All right, so from here I'm about 80% dry, maybe 80, I don't know, but we're not 100%, that's for sure. So we're gonna get some more volume in here. Now, usually what I would do from here is just go. By now my hair is taken long enough that I can just leave and go to work or wherever I'm going. So today I'm going to kind of stimulate that by doing my makeup instead. So my makeup takes roughly 30-ish minutes to complete, and in that time, hopefully we can fully dry the rest. I do like to combine my diffusing with air drying just to prevent some additional frizz. And I noticed that at this point, we're getting a little bit of frizz and things, but we can prevent a little bit more by just air drying the rest. So that's what I do from here. I'm gonna come back when my face is all glammed up and show you where we're at. And if it's not fully dry by then, I'll diffuse a smidge bit more, but hopefully it is by then and I can show you how I finish it up. I'll be back. All right, you guys, so we are almost done. I'm back with my face done, looking fabulous. So first thing, I did have to diffuse a little bit more. So it wasn't fully dry, so I went ahead and diffused a little bit more. So we are like 99% dry. I'm good with that. So I'm gonna show you how we finish up. I'm going to use some water. Sorry. I'm gonna use some water on my edges just to go ahead and get some of that powder and stuff off from when I did my makeup. And then I'll show you how I lay those. So real quick, I'm just wetting a towel and we're just gonna wipe it off. Easy. I know a lot of people do their edges before their makeup. A lot of people wait till after. A lot of people don't want to wait till after because of the powder. So this is just how I do it after and just wipe my powder off. So, all right, using my edge brush here, I'm gonna use some of this Shine and Jam. This is my edge gel of choice. It's not technically just an edge gel, but that's what I use it for. And then one that I've also been liking is this Cream of Nature Argan Oil Edge Control. And this is actually in the color black. So when you use it, it's black. And I like that because I think it just adds a fuller look. But today we're just gonna use the Shine and Jam. I don't do anything crazy with my edges. It's really just pulling them back. Mine get a little fuzzy and curly. You can see this one down here. And I just like a little bit of a sleeker look. Especially in the summer, I don't mind frizz. When you have humidity, frizz is going to come. It's just gonna happen. Like, I can give you the best wash and go ever, but frizz will happen. But I think doing something as small as smoothing those edges down really just adds a little bit more polish to the look. That's just me though. From here, we're just going to scrunch a little bit, separate a little, show you how I do that. This Mielle Coil Sculpting Custard, it really gives you a nice hold. Like it gives you a perfect cast. So that's what I have going on now. But I want it bigger, fluffier, so we're going to scrunch that cast out. I'm going to use the OGX Argan Oil of Morocco. Get some of that on my hands. You can't see it, I circle it all around and do one side here. So other side the same way. Keep in mind, if you're scrunching out the cast and your hair is not 100% dry, so mine's not 100% dry, I realize there may be extra frizz. If your hair is not 100% dry, you are subject to frizz. Just a disclaimer. So I know when I was a kid, I was the type of person, I didn't like my hair to be frizzy at all. And I always put a ton of gel. I guess it would be similar to the Whatttt look now, except it didn't look good on me. But anyway, my mom would always say, the more you touch it, the bigger it's gonna get, like as far as your hair, the more frizz you're gonna get. You keep messing with it, it's going to get more volume in it. And now that's kind of like my favorite thing to do, is to just be touching it and getting all that volume. So it's just funny how the things you don't want then, you want now. I hated my curls then. I love them now. I have a pick that I use, and then I also use this one because my pick is in my purse, just to kind of fluff. You can use any wide tooth comb as well, but as always, that's optional. I like it for a little extra volume. All right, let's get you some views. So from the back, I think it looks so good. This actually turned out really great. Here's side views and from the front. So we're done. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and watching this through. If you have questions, of course, I'm always happy to answer them in the comments, as well as just like what you want to see next. I have an idea for something coming up. I feel like wash and goes don't depend so much on the technique as the product, whereas sometimes I think, well, maybe it is the technique and not the product, or just the condition of your hair. So I was thinking of doing something to test that theory. Let me know if you'd be interested in that, and we will kind of figure out how to do that so we can learn more. As always, thanks again, and until next time.